Minimalism means chucking your stuff, yeah? Nope. Long before it became a closet cleaning hashtag, it was an art world mutiny that made critics clutch their pearls, left museums scratching their heads and, without anyone really noticing, rewired how we think about freedom, focus, maybe even sanity. So how did a handful of stubborn 1960s sculptors, guys who dodged interviews like they were parking tickets, end up shaping the way you swipe past decluttering reels? And why are therapists now claiming their radical ideas might be the cheapest therapy you'll ever try? Stick around. The origin story is weirder, older, and way more useful than any laundry basket challenge on TikTok. New York, 1964. Abstract Expressionism, those splashy, angsty canvases by Pollock and Rothko, still owns every white wall in town. Enter Donald Judd, ex-critic, Texan drawl, allergic to small talk. Instead of paint, he builds a vertical stack of dull metal boxes, bolts it to the gallery wall, and refuses to call it sculpture. Critics implode. One headline screams, "The end of art," yet the line snakes around the block. For the first time, the art isn't selling you drama, religion, or the artist's mommy issues. It's just space, light, and your own reflection bouncing off cold aluminum. Judd's buddy Dan Flavin goes further. Fluorescent tubes from the hardware store, nothing else. Frank Stella nails the mood with a line that becomes the movement's unofficial bumper sticker. What you see is what you see. No symbolism, no clutter. By 1968, galleries can't stock plain cubes fast enough. Collectors, irony alert, fork over fortunes to own nothing. Why? Because stripping art down felt like the boldest thing you could do in a decade, drowning in neon ads and Cold War jitters. That rebellion seeps out of Soho and quietly infiltrates design, music, architecture, and, without anyone signing a petition, your kitchen drawer. But hold up, before Judd ever touched metal, the idea was already ancient. Around 300 BCE, Stoic philosophers stroll into Athens with one cloak, a walking stick, and a dinner quote. Wealth consists in wanting less. Zip to 13th century Japan, Zen monks rake rock gardens with 15 stones, never all visible, to prove that less information equals more attention. Jump to 1845, Thoreau borrows an axe, builds a 150 square foot cabin and writes, "A man is rich in proportion to the number of things he can afford to let alone." Same chorus every century, subtract the non-essential and you'll finally meet yourself. So when Judd's metal boxes land in 1964, minimalism isn't new, it's an old whisper finally cranked through industrial-sized amps you can sell, crate and invoice. Art just gave the philosophy a body. Fast forward to 2008. The economy faceplants, mortgages implode, and people realize owning less can be a life raft, not just a look. Bloggers Joshua Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus start chronicling life out of 2 suitcases each and 24-hour escape plans from cubicles. Marie Kondo drops the life-changing magic of tidying up in 2011, and suddenly, does it spark joy? Replaces just do it. Minimalism shapeshifts from gallery rebellion to lifestyle prescription. Tiny house shows turn 180 square feet into prime real estate. Tech bros brag about 30-item inventories while living out of backpacks in Bali. The movement finally reaches your algorithm disguised as folding techniques and beige coffee mugs. But the spine of the idea never changed. Ditch what doesn't matter, so you can notice what does. Clutter isn't decor, it's visual spam. Princeton neuroscientists found every extra item on your desk dukes it out for neural bandwidth, dropping task performance up to 25%. Translation: that souvenir mug is literally siphoning focus calories. UCLA researchers watched families open stuffed closets and saw cortisol, the stress hormone, spike faster than a frat boy's pulse at last call. Flip the experiment. 20 minutes of sorting the donate pile dropped self-reported anxiety by 18%. Minimalism, then, is less about Instagram-able shelves and more about neurochemical self-defense. Strip the excess and you hand your prefrontal cortex a breather to finish the novel, build the Lego castle, or nail that guitar solo you've postponed since 10th grade. Costs $0, works faster than espresso, no jitters. Plot twist: if you treat minimalism like a dick measuring contest, you've missed the punchline. Your feed is crammed with lone toothbrush owners bragging about empty kitchens. That's just consumerism in a monochrome t-shirt. Real minimalism is internal, not photogenic. A single mom who keeps the chipped Pokemon plates because her kids eat off them nightly is practicing smarter subtraction than the influencer who buys a new essentials set every season. The question isn't how few things can I survive with, but which items earn their rent and which quietly suck it. Shift the ruler from quantity to alignment and the whole game changes. You stop counting objects and start curating experiences. Friends who recharge instead of gossip, work that builds meaning instead of burnout, hobbies that stretch you instead of collecting dust. That's when the original art rebellion finally downloads into your nervous system. No museum ticket required. If this is already messing with assumptions you picked up from that first decluttering reel, hit subscribe. I drop weekly videos that turn forgotten history into practical mind tools. And hey, if you tried minimalism and bailed, spill the story in the comments. Your cautionary tale might save someone else weeks of guilt. Let's make this stupidly doable. Step 1. Pick one surface you stare at within 5 minutes of waking. Nightstand, bathroom counter, kettle station. Clear everything except 2 essentials. Leave it alone for 24 hours and watch how often your eyes relax when they land there. Step 2. Digital sweep. Open your phone, delete the single app you opened mindlessly more than 5 times yesterday. Just one. Marvel at how much thumb scrolling suddenly feels optional. Step 3. Schedule a no-buy window, 3 days, a week, whatever feels spicy, and pre-decide what you'll do with the cash you would have blown on impulse clicks. Salsa class? Credit card interest? Either way, you're training the delay muscle. Do those 3 steps and you've unofficially joined a lineage that started with Stoics, detoured through metal boxes in downtown lofts, and now camps on your kitchen counter. No security guard in sight. So what's the real story behind minimalism? It isn't a trend about owning 10 shirts, it's a 2000-year hunch that subtraction can equal freedom, first argued by toga-clad philosophers, then shouted by artists who refuse to paint feelings, and finally proven by brain scans that show your neurons exhale when the counters do. Every generation rediscovers the same quiet truth. The less you need to defend, ensure, dust or flex, the more oxygen you have to breathe, think, and actually show up for your life. Try the 3-step reset. Read 1 page of Marcus Aurelius, or sit in front of a blank wall for 60 seconds and see what thoughts finally elbow their way to the front. If this video sparked even one new question about the stuff clogging your days, share it with a friend who still thinks minimalism is for people who hate color. And remember, own what adds value, subtract what quietly steals it. That, not an empty wardrobe, is the rebellion that started in a 1960s gallery and still has permission to declutter your soul. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content.